Okay, I want you to imagine something for just a second. Your phone rings. You pick it up, and on the other side of the line, it's your son, or maybe your daughter, and they sound absolutely terrified. Maybe they say they've been in a terrible accident. Maybe they've been arrested, but they tell you they need money and they need it immediately. The voice sounds completely real. The panic sounds incredibly real. Everything about it just feels real.
But here's the thing. What if I told you it's not actually them? For years, scams relied on pretty obvious tactics, right? Fake emails, weird text messages, obvious lies. Most of us knew exactly what to look out for. But the threat has completely evolved. So what happens when the scammer doesn't send a poorly worded message, but instead they call you, using the exact voice of someone you love deeply?
I mean, just imagine hearing these exact words. Mom, please don't panic. There is this visceral, gut-wrenching emotional impact to hearing a loved one in distress. In that exact moment, your logical brain, it literally just shuts down. The situation feels completely overwhelming, and your brain instantly focuses entirely on helping them, not on investigating if it's real. And honestly, that is exactly what the scammer wants. Because that terrifyingly accurate voice on the other end of the line, it's pure AI, artificial intelligence. We're talking about highly realistic phone calls generated entirely by computers. And this isn't just some theoretical sci-fi movie stuff anymore. These scams are becoming increasingly possible for ordinary people all over the world, including right here in South Africa.
Section 1. How AI clones voices, from expensive tech to everyday threat.
So, to really understand why this synthetic echo is such a massive problem, we kind of need to look at the mechanics of it all. Modern AI systems don't just copy sound like some old tape recorder. No, they deeply analyze a person's voice and learn its unique underlying patterns. They map out the tone, the specific accent, the rhythm of speech, and even the natural pauses between words. It essentially builds a complete digital profile of exactly how someone speaks. Now, you might be wondering, well, where on earth do they get this data? Well, it takes a terrifyingly small amount. A scammer can easily pull a tiny audio sample from incredibly common everyday places. A quick video you posted on social media, a leaked voice note on WhatsApp, a short TikTok clip, or even a YouTube video. And once they have that tiny little sample, the AI can generate entirely new, incredibly convincing speech. Just a few short years ago, creating a fake voice required seriously expensive technology and major technical expertise. But that was the past. The present reality? Only a tiny little audio sample is needed. It can be done super quickly, and the result is convincing enough to fool your closest friends and family, especially in highly stressful situations. Section 2. The psychology of panic. Why the scam works. Think about how we normally decide whether to trust someone, right? Inherently, we trust familiar faces, and we trust familiar voices. For our entire lives, the old rule applied. Hearing a loved one's voice was absolute, powerful proof of their identity. Hearing meant verifying. But AI has completely shattered that assumption. The new reality we have to face is that hearing is no longer verifying. It's really just a voice. And you better believe scammers understand this shift perfectly. These scams aren't actually attacks on technology. They are direct attacks on our human emotions. Scammers know they don't need the AI to be absolutely flawless. They just need the technology to work long enough to create a sense of panic. Because, well, panic forces quick action, and quick, split-second decisions almost always lead to mistakes.
Section 3. Why the rules changed. The vulnerability of older generations.
Experts often warn older adults about these emerging scams, and we really need to approach this with deep empathy. Older people aren't being careless. They simply grew up in a world where a voice over a phone line could be implicitly trusted. For decades, if you heard your child's voice, it was your child. The thing is, technology is just changing way faster than our social habits, and scammers are ruthlessly exploiting that exact gap. Section 4. How to protect yourself. Defending against the synthetic echo. Okay, so here is the good news. Awareness is our absolute best defense. If you ever receive a suspicious distress call, you've got to deliberately follow these structured steps. Number 1, never ever send money immediately. Number 2, hang up and call the person back using a phone number you already know and trust. Number 3, contact another family member to verify the story. And number 4, ask a highly personal question that only the real person would actually know. Because honestly, it all comes down to this one crucial thing. You have to slow the situation down.
Scammers rely entirely on urgency. They absolutely need you panicking. The very second you take a breath and create just a little bit of time to think, their entire advantage completely disappears. Time is literally your best weapon here.
Section 5. The future of trust. Rethinking reality.
Because what's happening here is so much bigger than just one individual scam. For centuries, we humans relied completely on our senses to judge reality, right? If you heard a voice, a real living person was speaking. But AI is kind of forcing us to question our own ears. Because while technology changes at lightning speed, human emotions, they don't. People are always going to respond to fear, and they will always want to help the people they deeply love. So yeah, the tech might be brand new, but exploiting these deeply rooted emotions is as old as humanity itself.
Our ability to imitate reality has improved so dramatically, and it's creating a profound new challenge for all of us. We literally have to actively rethink the fundamental ways we verify the world around us. So the big question I want to leave you with is, how will you learn what to trust?
If you found this explainer useful and want to keep staying ahead of the curve, make sure to subscribe to Digital Mzansi. Every single week, we break down the real, practical ways artificial intelligence is impacting trust, our relationships, and our everyday lives. Because, look, understanding the technology is important, sure, but understanding how it actually affects people, that might be even more important. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.